Yet another week of the Premier League is here. We got some bangers like Tottenham versus Manchester United and Man City versus Liverpool. That's a top one right there. Top quality matches. And yeah, let's get straight into the video. Hopefully you do enjoy the video. Drop a like if you do. Moving on to Tottenham versus Manchester United. This could genuinely be a very tight game. So let's get started with Tottenham. They have not been doing the best this season. If you ask me about their form recently, it's not been the best, if we're being honest. Last game they played Chelsea and they lost 1-0. Loads of Tottenham fans were absolutely fuming with that performance because apparently it was awful. Even Van de Ven and Spence walked past Thomas Frank after the match and they completely ignored him, just did not acknowledge him at all. That's how mad they were with that loss against Chelsea. And they truly need some attackers, some new attackers to come in January, because I think Kudus is the only player kind of starting the attacks. No one else is doing anything. They have Solanke, who they brought in. He does not play. Thomas Frank does not rate him at all. Things need to change up in that attack. Now on to Manchester United. They have been doing decent this season. At the moment, they actually sat in the 8th place in the league. Compared to last season, that is a huge improvement so far. Like last game, they had a tight game. They drew 2-2 against Nottingham Forest. But Casemiro has been stepping up recently and showing glimpses of his old self from the Real Madrid days. Now, attacking wise, it does seem like the team is flowing a lot better. They have Mbeumo and Cunha as 10s behind Sesko. So I think that's going to work best in that Manchester United team. Prediction wise, I'm going to go 2-1 Manchester United. Moving on to Everton versus Fulham. This game, it's going to be a tight one as well. So let's get started with Everton. They have been doing not too bad actually so far this season. They're in and around the mid-table of the league, but they're sitting in 14th place. Like last game, they played Sunderland, which was today on the day I'm recording this, and they drew 1-1. I gotta say, that player in Dye, such a special player. What an incredible goal from him. He like dribbled past 2 or 3 players, cuts inside in and around that like circle at the edge of the box, just bangs it with his left foot, top left corner. Unbelievable strike from him. But apart from that, they have been struggling quite a bit form wise, but I do believe David Moyes and his team could get something in this match. Onto Fulham, they seem to be struggling quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie, usually they are in the mid-table area. Now they find themselves in 15th place, which is honestly crazy to me. I consider them a very underrated team. Last season, I said they were an underrated team, but they had some rough matches, especially against Arsenal, Bournemouth, and many other clubs. The last game they won 3-0 against the Wolves, which is probably the worst team in the league, but that brought them back to winning ways. So can they push on and get a result here? I don't think so. I think it's gonna end as a 1-1 draw. Moving on to West Ham versus Burnley. This game will be low scoring in my opinion. So let's get started with West Ham. They have been quite horrible this season. It's actually quite crazy to see them sat in the 18th place. They're in the relegation zone. That is something I would not believe if you told me like months ago or at the end of last season. But their form has been turning around as of recent. Like last game they played Newcastle and they got a huge 3-1 win. I was not expecting that at all to happen on a Sunday. They really held off Newcastle well and countered them well in that match, so deserved the win from West Ham. But onto Burnley, they have actually been not the best this season. Form wise recently, they have been doing better, but last game they played Arsenal, who are top of the league. They're like 7 points clear at the moment, and they lost 2-0 against arguably the best team in the league, But before those matches, they were getting some pretty good results. Wins against Wolves, against the Leeds as well. But they were getting better attacking wise. Defensively, I mean, they gotta get better. They could probably get better because we saw last season in the championship, they barely conceded any goals. They like set a new record, I believe, for least goals conceded in a championship season. So defensively, they could definitely solve that. But my prediction is going to be a 2-2 draw between the two. Now, Sunderland versus Arsenal, I think this is going to be one of the most underrated matches right here. Two sides who are very, very good. So let's get started with Sunderland. They have been doing quite well this season. Taken in, they are set in 4th place right now in the league, which is crazy. Newly promoted team sitting in 4th place. Amazing stuff. Now, last game they played Everton and they drew 1-1, which was the game today, and I'm very surprised they have done this as well. As I said, as a newly promoted team as well, very impressive. I gotta say, Granit Xhaka has been such a key player in this team as well. He just keeps like the play ticking. At Leverkusen, he did that. At Arsenal, when he was at Arsenal, he was doing that. Amazing stuff from him, and he'll be back playing against his former club Arsenal in this match. On to Arsenal, they've been doing really well this season. They have the strongest defense in the league so far, only conceding 3 goals in 10 matches. That is absolutely crazy. Do you guys think they could beat Chelsea's record of 15 goals conceded in a single season? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, they've been scoring loads of set pieces, I'm not gonna lie. Gabriel at the heart of those set pieces. But last game they played Burnley and they won 2-0. And we got some news today that Gyökeres has sustained an injury, which is not good news for us. And they said it's not a short-term injury as well, so that makes it even worse. So we will have to play Marino up top if Gyökeres is not available. But my prediction for this match is going to be a 3-1 win for Arsenal. Moving on to Chelsea versus Wolves. This match honestly will go one way in my opinion, unless Wolves turn up. Now let's get started with Chelsea. They have been doing alright this season, but they are currently in 7th place, which isn't too good. It could be because they are playing in a European competition in the Champions League as well. But last game they played Tottenham, they got a great 1-0 win. Joao Pedro scoring for the first time in around like 8 matches. Now Chelsea fully dominate that match, and I think they will take that result and take that momentum and bring it into this Wolves match. Now on to Wolves. I mean, we all know they've been horrible this season. I would say probably the worst team in the league at the moment, sitting all the way in 20th place. Last game they played Fulham and they lost 3-0, which resulted in the manager Vitor Pereira getting sacked. I mean, it was coming considering the results that Wolves were getting. Like, they did not have a single win, and they still do not have a single win in the Premier League. I mean, the defense as well is just leaking goals like crazy. That needs to be fixed as well. So now they're probably looking for a new manager to come in. My prediction though is going to be a 3-0 win for Chelsea. Moving on to Crystal Palace versus Brighton. This one is going to be such a good one. So let's get started with Crystal Palace. Now, they've been doing quite well this season actually. I would say they are up there with the most underrated teams as well. Glasner has just turned this squad into a very balanced squad. Defensively, they're quite good. Attacking wise, they're very good as well. Last game they played Brentford and they won 2-0. Mateta, as per usual, bagging a goal in that game. But I think the two key players offensively in this team, of course Mateta with the goals, but Munoz coming in from that right back position or wing back just bombs up the right side of the pitch and gets those cutbacks into the box, and it works really well because a lot of their goals come from those cutbacks from him. Now on to Brighton. They're just below Palace in 10th place. They have been alright, you could say. Like, form wise it's been okay for them. Last game they played Leeds and they managed to win that game 3-0. Brighton fully had that game dominated. But when you think about Brighton, or when you look at Brighton, you just think about a team who plays some nice fluid football. Honestly, they're probably one of my most favorite teams to watch the Premier League. Just very entertaining football they play. Now my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Crystal Palace. Moving on to Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. This could end up being a very tight game or a absolute domination from Bournemouth. So let's get started with Aston Villa. They have been doing quite good so far. Honestly, they started off the season awful, being in the relegation zone. I remember they were in like 18th place. They made it out of that and they went on a win streak from there. Like last game they played Liverpool and they lost 2-0. They were very unlucky with Rodgers, his shot hitting the post. Then Cash got a shot like coming from the right side edge of the box. He shot it top right and Mamadashvili just saved it right there. But Martinez's terrible mistake to give Salah literally a open goal and just gave him a free goal right there. But from there, Liverpool started coming at Aston Villa, and yeah, Liverpool won that game 2-0. On to Bournemouth. They've been very impressive this season. They have come out this season, I think, even better than last season, sitting in 5th place, which is very good. Like last game, very big challenge for them, coming up against Man City, and they lost 3-1 to Man City. Haaland and Cherokee, that duo is going to be one to watch for this season because they just tore that Bournemouth like high line apart. Now Semenyo has been an immense player this season, probably the one chipping in with the most goal contributions in this Bournemouth team, but I'm sure Bournemouth will bounce back in this game, and hence I have them winning 2-1 in this match. Now Brentford versus Newcastle. This match could be another tight one, so let's get started with Brentford. They have been honestly pretty decent this season. They have been a little bit impressive despite them being sat in 12th place in the league. They've been playing some very nice football. Igor Thiago has been balling out as well. In terms of their form recently, it's been not bad, if we're being honest. Last game they played Palace and they lost 2-0 unfortunately, but I think this game they could bounce back and they will have a better performance. That's what I think personally. Moving on to Newcastle, the opposition. They have been pretty disappointing this season. They dropped from the top 5 last season, in and around the top 5, to being 13th place at the moment. They seem to be struggling as well, especially last game. Last game they faced off against West Ham, who are in the relegation zone, and West Ham beat them 3-1. I was not expecting that loss to come in that match, but Eddie Howe, for some reason, he subbed off Woltmade and Gordon because I did not see them playing in the second half. But Murphy, he put Newcastle in front like a few minutes in, I believe, but then things turned around before halftime and West Ham really went for it. Now I won't lie, Pope kind of sold in that match. He was quite horrible. He did not make many saves and he could have made saves in those goals for West Ham, but a little bit of a rough day for him. But my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Newcastle. Moving on to Nottingham Forest versus Leeds United. This game could end up being a very good match. So let's get started with Nottingham Forest. They have not been good at all this season. They started off the season horribly with Angie in charge. He ended up being sacked, as we all know already. He did not win a single match in charge with Nottingham Forest. Now Sean Dyche has stepped in and he's taken the reign as the manager, and at the moment they are sitting in 19th place in the league. That's kind of tragic if we're being honest. The last game they played Manchester United and they drew 2-2. Now Gibbs White scoring in that match as well. He mentioned that just the players have more freedom playing under Sean Dyche. They're in the right positions and everything, so seems like they're enjoying themselves again. I think they will come into this game a lot stronger, and honestly they could win this match. They should be winning this match. Now on to Leeds United. They have not been the best this season as well, because we know they are a newly promoted side, so it might take a few games for them to get into that Premier League level, despite them having many goals in their past matches. But they are sat in 16th place at the moment, just above the relegation zone. The last game they played Brighton and they lost 3-0. That's a rough loss, but they've been winning here and there though. The defense just needs to be a little bit stronger because they're conceding a lot. But my prediction, it's going to be a high scoring 3-2 Nottingham Forest win Moving on to the last and final game. Now this is the biggest game this week. Man City versus Liverpool. So let's get started with Man City. They have been doing quite well this season. They have been struggling to spread goals all across the team. I mean, that's a problem in my opinion, because Haaland has scored 13 out of the 20 goals in the league for Man City. That's quite crazy. Now last game they played Bournemouth, it was a big test, but they won 3-1. Cherky feeding Haaland in behind. Just call it off at that point. It's just a cheat code with those two, and if other players start chipping in that Man City team, Man City could be in a very tight title race with Arsenal. Now onto Liverpool. They have not been doing the best this season, honestly, despite them sitting in like 3rd place right now. I believe the signings coming in, like Ekatike has hit the ground running. Isak, not really. Wirtz as well. I think Wirtz, Isak, Kirkic, all those players, it might take them a little bit more time to kind of gel and get that chemistry going in the team. But the form has been a little bit rough in recent weeks, but they turned it around last game. They actually won 2-0 against Aston Villa, which bumped them all the way up into 3rd place in the league. As I mentioned, Salah finally getting a goal, even though it was a mistake from Emi Martinez. That probably gives him a little bit of confidence coming into this Man City game, and let's see if he could get a goal in here, get a goal contribution. Maybe, well, let's find out. But yeah, slowly Liverpool, I think, will start to gel and they will start to play well. Now my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Man City. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment down below your predictions for these matches, and don't forget to subscribe as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.